Mao Zhiqing, a shut-in 21-year-old loser, just like his friends, wastes his time on a popular MOBA game known as League of Legends. As a group, they form a ranked team named KIA to play against national competitions. It is a sunny afternoon when Mao Zhiqing, a straight 21-year-old college student, collects takeout food for himself and his roommates. Mao is boring, single to a stupor, and plays a popular MOBA game called League of Legends daily because he is useless and has nothing to offer. Upon hearing the sound of the female announcer's voice in the game, he concludes that a game was started without him and rushes back upstairs to make it to the match in time like his pants were on fire. While he rushes towards his room, he thinks about how his teammates have selected a character for him just to start the game. He then mistakes the boys' dorm with its female counterpart and accidentally interrupts a group of girls who are currently changing their outfits. He scares the living crap out of them, and an object is instinctively thrown at him, urging him to get out. The retard, who catches it to prove that he won't fall for the generic plot writing, realizes that it's an underwear. He then leaves and continues running to get to his room like a squirrel chasing after acorns. Mao goes through the wrong door and breaks up an odd exchange between a male student and the chairman of the school, which appears to be a romantic one.
You are gay.
Worried about his missed siesta, he continues on his way, arriving at the right room. Before being able to enter, however, they make a Pokemon reference out of him and he is trapped in a Pokeball. After being released, Mao Zhiqing's roommate, Lu Xiaolong, explains to Mao about the outcome of their match and how they lost the game like sore losers.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
As a result, his other two roommates, Fatty and Juji, take a break away from the keyboard to eat, only to be beaten back into their position by Lu, who asks them how they could be eating given their game condition. Back in the game, Mao must accept that Nunu was chosen as his champion, which forces him to take on the position of support rather than the mid lane as was originally decided because he has nothing to offer to their attack. His teammates decide to not attack Baron, a boss in the video game, which angers Mao. He asks why they are not attacking him. Lu, in a show of strength, one-shots Baron like Batman, beats the shit out of a thug and completes the boss quest. The guys work together, with Fatty preparing to sacrifice something special. They all finish the remaining game quests. Later that day, to blow off some steam, the losers eat dinner, which they bought, of course, because they are too useless to cook. Lu then mentions that the dormitory mother rants about her stolen underwear. The fool of an MC smirks because he knows the full story. Suddenly, it dawns on him that he mixed the treasure with their dinner. Immediately, the underwear floats inside one of their soups. It's a sunny afternoon, and Mao and Lu lie down on the green field enjoying the day breeze because they have nothing to do. Mao asks them to get their lazy asses off the floor and find something to do. But Lu, reveling in his good-for-nothing attitude, insists he doesn't want to do anything. He points to Fatty beside them, lying like a log with mushrooms growing over his body, the final big boss of laziness. Mao imagines he and Lu moving and dancing around romantically, and just as they get closer, Lu beats the brakes out of Mao for having such imagination, insisting his character is supposed to be straight. He asks Mao to take a good look at his ugly self. He chastises him for always slacking off when he is not playing video games, and if he keeps it up, they will be finished. He aggressively advises him that a proper boyfriend is supposed to take advantage of the beautiful weekend, grab his one true love, and go on a romantic getaway, which is not possible because Mao is single like a broomstick. Lu declares they move forward. After walking for a while, a soccer ball is kicked into their paths, but Lu kicks it away after realizing none of their pathetic asses has a girlfriend yet. The ball lands and bounces in front of two girls. One of the girls says to the other that the ball looks like the legendary cry of loneliness. She assumes the guy who kicked the ball can be a professional player. The other girl calms her down and tells her not to act like a drama queen. Lu sees these girls and loses his mind, not like he had much to lose in the first place. Using the little brain he has, he analyzes the girls and draws up stats about them and their bodies. Mao tries to intervene, but Lu drop kicks the crap out of him. The girls walk up to them, which makes Lu go even crazier like a monkey eating a banana. One of the girls points to Mao and asks him to come close. Mao goes to meet her, and they get physically closer.
That was easy.
This makes Lu go batshit crazy and curb stomps the nonsense out of Mao, warning him to leave his goddess. With a flower in his mouth, he moves to the girl and asks them to not be scared, and then he introduces himself to them. He asks them to excuse Mao, who is rude and uncultured. He brings forward a gift and calls the other girl her servant to take it from him. This angers the girl for being called a servant, then she turns to Prime Mike Tyson and beats the crap out of Lu deservedly. Mao comes forward and introduces the first girl, Tian, to them, calling her his cousin.
What?
This surprises everyone, including Lu. Lu pathetically apologizes to Mao and calls him family just to appease Tian. Tian introduces the second girl who beat the shit out of Lu, Nanan, to them. Tian tells the boys that they are roommates and they both play League of Legends, which they invite the boys to come play with them. They head back and finish a game of League of Legends together, which is fun to them. Back in Tian's room, Lu helps set up her computer to reduce her game lag.
You know what time it is?
Tian tells him that it's quite late and the gates will close in 5 minutes, then she advises him to stay instead. But Lu foolishly says he can make it in time and zooms off, and on getting to his room, he realizes how dumb he was. It's Christmas, and once again, Mao drowns in his tears of loneliness. He has no girlfriend, and neither do you watching. Back in their room, Fatty tells the guys that the day is Christmas, and it is a nice day. He asks them if they want to go to the shop to get a massage or do anything else useful in their lives. He is interrupted by Mao, who is angry at something. Fatty asks him what is wrong. Mao explains to him that it is his gaming keyboard with issues. He reveals that there are junks in his keyboard and he is getting them out. The objects finally fall out and Mao calls the boys together saying he has found treasure. The items discovered are potato chips from ROTC, nose hair, the biggest booger ever from senior year, nails that Mao's mom helped him clip from when he had a cast on his leg, pencil shavings from middle school, and his grandma's roasted sunflower seed from the 5th grade. Mao attempts to put the roasted sunflower in his mouth, but Fatty beats sense into him and commands him to drop. Over at Lu's table, he discovers that his keyboard is school-issued. This upsets him like a kid dropping an ice cream cone. Fatty asks them again if they are going out, but Mao replies that they can't because they are too broke.
Now, I'm really mad.
Juji mentions that he has some money, and on hearing this, Lu shamelessly begs for money and crawls like a dog scratching its ass.
You're poor.
Mao asks him to have some shame and stop his foolishness. Mao asks him if he has any dignity or dreams, which Lu replies that he has dreams. Mao asks him what his dreams are, to which Lu's delusional ass replies that his dreams are no more wars, no more lies, wage equality, no more animal cruelty, no more pollution, and people smiling when you pick up $10 from the streets. Mao loses it and asks the idiot for more realistic dreams. Lu tells him his true dream is to be with his cousin, which angers Mao. Juji tells his friends that they should do something more meaningful than their current fooling around on Christmas. The guys then decide to hop on League of Legends as their way of doing something meaningful.
My disappointment is immeasurable.
Mao's character dies first in the game, which is unexpected because he is a noob. Lu's character continues his journey in the game but is ambushed by other players who beat the life out of his character. Lu pleads for backup from Mao, but Mao is useless and can't do anything because his keyboard mouse is stuck. Mao manages to fix the keyboard mouse and gets back into the game to support Lu and the others. The following day, a dispatcher knocks at their door to deliver a package. Mao is surprised that he didn't order anything because he's too poor. He opens the package and discovers a brand new keyboard that was bought by his friends for him as a gift. This act by his friends makes him cry tears of joy and appreciates it.
Oh my.
Even though his friends don't even have money themselves.
Oh!
Lu shouts at Mao during a League of Legends game, but the idiot is lost in thought. Lu tells him that the midline is overextended, so he should exploit it. He later asks him to not mind, so he asks Fatty instead to bring Twisted Fate, who is standing over there. But Fatty declines, stating that Twisted Fate is gay.
You are gay.
A pot calling the kettle black shocks the gang, but since they insisted, Chunks agrees to do it. Like a battering ram, Fatty charges at Twisted Fate with full speed. Twisted Fate sees this and launches his attacks, which are expertly deflected by Chunks. Chunks counters and gives him a free lesson in pain management. The other gamers playing against them see this and disappear like ghosts at dawn. The gang finishes the game and suddenly the power goes out. Mao wishes he had gone blind instead. Following the blackout, Juji takes joy in the fact that he has always got candles and he lights them. The situation is frustrating to Fatty, whose phone is about to die. Mao reads that the entire campus is experiencing a blackout. Lu, with his perverted mind, thinks they should go to the girls' dorms since it will be dark.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Mao scolds him and tells him his stupid head won't even see anything since it will also be dark. All except Mao leaves the room. Mao asks them where they are going, but they just are the fool. Mao feels angry and says he doesn't want to go with them anyway. Then suddenly, the door shuts by itself, which scares the daylight out of him. He rushes outside faster than the speed of light. After running away like a chicken, Mao gets outside and finds the guys lying around. He asks them why they are there. Lou explains that they are trying to protect the girls from pervs. Meanwhile, he is the perv himself. Mao tries to call his cousin Tian, but Lou slaps the phone out of his hands, explaining that calling her will ruin their whole strategy. Lou accidentally hits Mao, which makes the latter make a butt dial to his cousin, scaring all of them. The dumbasses stomp on the phone to end the call, but it does not work, unsurprisingly. Fatty and Juji come up with their respective dumb ideas about bringing the girls out. Mao's call finally goes through, but it's picked up by Nanan, who tells him that Tian is beating the hell out of a boxing bag. Mao tells Nanan that Lou wants to take everyone to eat since the power is off, and he's asking them to come. The gang hears this, and they are about to jump Mao like Batman, but they stop midway when the girls agree.
Good night, girl. I'll see you tomorrow.
A very short moment later, the electricity comes back on, and the gang returns to their room, leaving Mao. Mao asks them to not leave him alone with the girls they air his ass. In a revelation to the future, Nanan meets up with Mao at a restaurant for tea. In the future revelation, Mao and Nanan ask each other about their jobs. Nanan asks him how he manages to have leisure time when he has a match the week after. Nanan asks why he didn't order a beverage for her before she arrived. Mao tells her he wasn't expecting her to come so early. A couple of conversations make Mao nervous like a turkey before Thanksgiving. Nanan catches on to this and tells him he still blinks his eyes when he's nervous. Mao looks out the window and wishes life could be as peaceful as it was in college. Back to the present, Shan and Nanan meet up with Mao, who had called them outside earlier due to the blackout. He tries to run away like a bitch he is, but Nanan catches up to him and makes him fall on his knees like he just saw his crush at a wedding. Nanan chastises them for only wanting to spend time with them when there's no electricity, and they can't play League of Legends. Mao lies that Lou had diarrhea, so he had to leave before his stomach became a natural disaster. Nanan believes Mao is lying because of his blinking eyes. Above them, Lou, the brainless idiot, wants to jump off the balcony because his irritable ass is upset at something. The sudden power blackout earlier damaged his hard disk. Fatty advises him to just buy another one, but Lou says the hard disk contains some files that took half of his useless life to collect. The others leave him to his fooling and they enter inside. Lou gets some senses and decides to head back in also, but he slips and ends up hanging to the edge of the balcony with one hand. With his fingers slipping away, he fears falling to the ground. Fortunately for him, a stranger in the story below tells him he will catch him if he falls. Ultimately, he loses his grip and falls. The stranger tries to catch him by his pants, but instead only manages to pull his pants off his body, which makes Lou fall by the bush on the ground. Thanks to plot armor, Lou survives the fall with no injuries. Shortly after, in the night, the gang with the girls go to a computer store to check if they can restore the damaged hard disk. They find the stranger from earlier in the store, whom Lou names Jiyu, a bald Chinese celebrity. Lou clownishly asks him to not look at Tian, and that she is his. This vexes Chan, which makes her kick Lou where the sun doesn't shine. As Lou falls, he accidentally drags down the pants of Jiyu, revealing his bare buttocks.
I got you, homie.
The computer store operator gives Jiyu cash in exchange for his obsolete computer, and he leaves the store. The operator attends to Lou and tells him it will cost him $2,000 to fix the hard disk, but Lou is too poor to afford it. Thereafter, they leave the store. After a while on their way home, Lou feels dejected and useless. Then he sees an ad about playing League of Legends with a $10,000 cash prize for the winner. Lou excitedly signs up in the names of his friends for the competition. He tells them they will split the money if they win. Jiyu shows up beside Lou and also registers for the competition, which shocks Lou. Back at the computer store, the operator examines Jiyu's League of Legends history on the computer. He is shocked by his win streaks. Inside the game center, Lou and Jiyu face off in a 1v1 game in League of Legends. Jiyu is dull and can't start up his computer, which Lou helps him out with. Mao, Fatty, Juji, Tian, and Nanan are outside at a bar drinking and enjoying some barbecue. At this point, Tian is so drunk she is lost in a staring contest with a ceiling fan. She relishes the fact that she is drunk and she is a challenger. She goes around challenging everybody to a 1v1 in League of Legends, shouting solo solo. At a table across from where the gang is, a couple sits there and the girlfriend asks the boy what solo means. The foolish boy tries to lie and say he doesn't understand what it means, but his true self finally explains what solo is. He explains that solo is a special game mode in the multiplayer online battle arena, where each player picks their characters and engages in a 1v1 turret battle. He continues the explanation vividly to his girlfriend, which upsets her, because the boy is a lying piece of shit and had told her that he doesn't play video games. She pours her drink on his repulsive face and storms out. Back at Mao's table, Nanan asks him to pass her his drink. Chen whispers to her cousin that he shouldn't play dumb, explaining that Nanan is asking him to pass her his drink so they may complete the legendary indirect kiss. This makes Mao very uneasy and anxious and starts daydreaming like Martin Luther King from Wish. Nanan asks him again to give her his drink, but the dumbass quickly gulps and wastes everything. Nanan scolds him for being very stingy. Back at the game center, the jobless youth Lu and Ji-Yu continue their one-for-one wall battle. The two of them have played 10 rounds and Ji-Yu has mopped the floor with Lu's ass. Lu can't believe what he's seeing. He doesn't understand Ji-Yu's tactics and movements, which are too fast for him. A bulge shines on Lu's otherwise empty head and realizes he has one more trick up his sleeve. He knows he can only use this move once, so he has to be very careful with it. They start the 11th round and the two fools go head-to-head. Lu manages to make his secret move against Ji-Yu, and he's finally won it. After leaving the bar, the gang arrives at the game center and finds Ji-Yu leaving the shop. At this point, Tan is drunk as hell and can't walk by herself. She's being carried by Fatty. Mao enters to see Lu perplexed like a deer in front of headlights. Mao checks the computer and discovers Lu lost all 11 rounds of the game, not winning a single one. An absolute loser. Hacker. Lu stares at the computer screen like he is trying to hypnotize it. Mao asks him what's wrong and they need to get back to the dorm because they are done eating. Nanan walks up behind Mao, which scares the daylight out of him. She explains that the reason Lu is like that is because of Ji-Yu, who beat him in all 11 rounds. Mao doesn't believe this and checks the match history by himself. Lu asks for his loser self to be left alone. He explains that he didn't understand what happened in the game and the pressure was unreal. He explains further that in the last round, he thought he would win, but Ji-Yu had other plans and beat his new ass. Mao comforts him that he shouldn't worry and that they win some and also lose some. Lu heads out in disgrace and places doubt if they will continue with the competition. Lu tries to pay for the game time, but the receptionist tells him he will have to pay double because of their early bets in which the loser pays for the game. This makes Lu even angrier and he storms out. He meets the other guys at the door. Fatty complains about carrying Tian when she's drunk because she weighs like a hippo. Lu tells him maybe because he too is fat like a truck and should stop blaming others. Lu rejects the opportunity to carry Tian because he feels like a failure, which surprises the gang because Lu would never reject such opportunities. After a short while, Mao meets Lu, who was gulping on beers like a raging alcoholic. Mao opens a can of beer, which surprises Lu because he doesn't drink alcohol. Mao had claimed he was allergic to alcohol. Mao tells him that it's okay and also tells him that he has plenty of secrets that Lu doesn't know. He decides to tell him some secrets. He says that even though Nanan may seem pretty short, she can eat a whole continent. Juji has a mysterious background and they think he might have been a mafia boss back in the days. Fatty says that he was attractive back when he was skinny, and if you believe that I have a space rocket to sell to you. Luke tells him he knows about all these and asks why he is telling him. Mao says he knows, but there's one thing Lu does not know. Mao tells him about their past back when the gang first met during their mandatory military training. Even though they were shit during the training and came last in all sports events, they still stuck together and enjoyed every bit of it, and that made them friends. Mao tells Lu that he won't allow him to drop out of the competition the next day. Lu appreciates the sentiments and says he will lead all of the idiots to glory. The next day, the gang meets at the game center to kick off the competition. The game competition announcer screams for Team K-Wei, but they are nowhere to be found. Subsequently, the gang whose team name is K-Wei shows up late like they were riding a turtle. The rest of the competitors are surprised that the team is composed of 3 guys, 2 girls, and a dog. Mao looks around and wets his pants due to the serious looks of the other competitors. Juji tells him to stop acting like a wimp and be more composed. He adds that even if he's a retard or scumbag, he must not lose to himself before attaining victory. The announcer tries to register their team and complains about why teams with girls always come late.
Women.
He refers to another team led by a girl, Juicy Baby. The name rings like a doorbell on Halloween to Tian. She remembers that Juicy Baby is a former fellow student back in high school, and she's now at East China Normal University. Tian is irritated that she'd come all this distance just to compete with her, as she had always done. She reminisces about when she was the student council's president back in high school, and she asked Juicy Baby for collaboration, but she rejected. Tian ended up running the entire thing herself and engaging the students on one, all for the sake of being able to enact reforms as soon as she's re-elected. Mao adds that Juicy Baby unexpectedly ruined everything for her. Some good-for-nothing boys hear this and threaten Mao to not talk badly about their goddess Juicy. They reveal themselves to be members of Juicy Baby's global fan club. This is what happens when you drop babies on their heads. One of the dimwits of the fan club asks the gang to forfeit because they don't stand a chance and most of the competitors are pros. He adds that the tournament is hosted by the country's biggest esports club to recruit young talents from the participants. Subsequently, a cocky pants dude with golden hair by the name of Michael enters the arena, and he is very full of himself. He insults the other competitors and calls them uncivilized. Lou is unfazed about the status of the competitors, saying that he's just there to win back what he has lost. Mao urges Lou to look for another means of making money to fix his hard disk because they don't stand a chance. Shortly after, the announcer tells the gang that their first opponent will be the Numbskull fan club guys. Mao catches some guys attempting to do something bad to Nanan, which makes him jump forward to defend her like a low-budget Superman. This action makes the guys giggle and Nanan blushes.
Nice.
Soon after, they start their game. Lou tells him he saw what he did about the Nanan situation earlier and commends him. He also tells him he's been learning a lot from him. The fan club guys spawn camp and ambush Mao's character in the game, but the gang can fight them off eventually. Chain is sweating like a Thanksgiving turkey, anxious about the arrival of Juicy Baby. Suddenly, there's noise outside indicating the arrival of Juicy. Chain attempts to confront her, but Baby wipes her face off with a slap. This leaves everybody dumbfounded. Juicy tells her the slap is a payback. Nanan flies in like a hungry eagle catching its prey to defend Qian, but she is stopped by another dude, a follower of Juicy. Juicy asks Nanan if she's trying to ruin her image, and she then lets her go. Juicy tells Tian that she hasn't changed and her friends are like her, impolite and brainless. She mocks Tian why she gathered such noobs and asks if she's not tired of being a loser. She then warns Tian that if their paths cross in the game, she will wipe her face on the floor and defeat her. She then leaves them. Nanan asks Tan why he didn't react at all when Juicy slapped her. Tan replies that it just proves she met the right person and it's given her more motivation to win the tournament. A while has passed in the tournament and the KYA team advances, ripping apart all the teams they face to shreds. GU also beats all the teams he's faced, kicking their butts to the curb. The audience speculates KYA team and GU's team are the favorites to reach the finals. The Michael dude is paying because the girls in the audience are fawning over GU and not his irritable ass. He angrily asks who his opponents are, which is the KYA team. He smirks and says he will use them as stepping stones. The KYA team faces the arrogant Michael and his team. Fatty manages to deal the first blood, giving a member of the opposite team a good thrashing. Michael occupies the mid lane, sees this, and realizes the top lane has been lost. Nanan launches a fireball attack at Michael, but he just deflects it like it's nothing, which surprises Nanan. He starts his boring epilogue about how powerful and majestic he is. He then deals his damage to her, but becomes distracted by her body movements. Nanan sees this and launches a counterattack, which hits him but manages to revive himself like a cat with 9 lives. After some events, Nanan gets the better of him and pummels him into next week. The last members of the opposition team realize mid lane has been lost and it's up to them in the bot lane, but they are useless to do anything because the KOA team has already occupied it. The final member of their team, who is an ugly frog, asks Michael to kiss him for their power-up. Michael kisses the frog and it transforms into a much larger anthropomorphic frog, but still ugly.
Wow! Beautiful!
The frog then tries to play, but it's still too late as the team has already lost. Turns out Mao and Juji already made their moves when he was transforming, a move that would upset the Power Rangers. This makes the frog upset, and he screams around like the frog he is. Shortly after the conclusion of the game, Tian shows the team their stats and informs them they are now in the semifinals and their opponent is Juicy Baby. Tian pulls Nanan aside and tells her she wants to play the match. In a throwback to Chin's high school events, she is giving out a speech to her fellow students like Prime Barack Obama how they are going to make the Students' Council better. She also appreciates her fellow students for their continued support. The supervisor asks the crowd of students if anyone wants to share their opinions. Someone from the crowd, Juicy Baby, raises her hands, which surprises Tian. Back to their game, Tian's character chases after Juicy's character. Tian launches her attack, which Juicy expertly dodges like Batman on steroids. Juicy tells Tian that whenever she's agitated, she's full of openings. Juicy counters by roping her with the help of another character, a Mumu. This infuriates Tian because they had agreed to a 1v1 and she's blatantly cheating. Juicy replies to her that she's still a gullible idiot like before. Back to the throwback, Juicy walks up to the stage with a proposed recording of Tian. In the voice recording, Tian asks other council members to join her so they can embezzle all the money altogether. Shaking like a tree during a hurricane, Tian claims that's not her voice and she's never said anything as such. Tian gets upset and calls Juicy a scumbag. She then decorates Juicy's cheeks with her palms through a hot slap. The students see this and become furious at both the recording and the assault on Juicy. They boo her and call her a thief. They also throw different items at her on the stage, asking her to resign. Back to their game, Mao sees the terrible situation of Tian and rushes to help, but Juji asks him not to go because it'll expose him. Like a deaf goat, he ignores and rushes to rescue Tian, but it's too late. Juicy deals first blood on Tian. Subsequently, on the other end, Juji is also defeated, leaving only Mao on the field. Now in a 3v1 situation at Mao's disadvantage, he cowers like a scaredy cat. He runs away with his tail tucked between his legs to his turrets.
You are gay.
The enemies, including Juicy, chase him to his turrets. They catch up to him and closing him with nowhere to go. Juicy takes a closer look at Mao and realizes he's related to Tian. He calls him a weakling just like his cousin back then on the stage. She then instructs her teammates to finish him off. As they rush in to attack Mao, Tian jumps in to defend him and turns the enemies to dust. She then screams at Juicy that no one messes with Mao. The enemies see this and one of them advises they can't fight anymore because Mao's team has got back up. One of the enemies foolishly rushes Mao, but he's whipped back to Pluto. Juicy tries to leave and she makes a devastating attack on Mao. Now with Juicy and Tian back to 1v1, the odds heavily tipped in Juicy's favor. Like a low-budget Batman, Lu jumps out from the shadows and makes a surprise attack on Juicy, which hits her. Then the two engage in a battle. Mao, Lu, and Tian now face off against Tian in a 3v1. This infuriates her, and she angrily pushes them away with a powerful force. The push displaces their position and Amumu easily stuns them. This move renders them immobile and Juicy shamelessly attacks them. Juicy scornfully chastises Amumu for showing up late and making her almost lose. The new guys respawn and rue their luck on almost defeating Juicy. They intend to push again, but they notice Tian standing in shock like she found out her goldfish is plotting world domination. She points out the high-level difference between them and Juicy. But Mao encourages her that they still have a chance because Juji is continuing to CS, Lin is ahead in the top lane, and they are more in numbers than Juicy's. Then Tian regains her courage like a gamer after a lag-free round.
I got you, homie.
Simultaneously, the audience is watching it praise Juicy's capabilities, and they make the final prediction that Juicy's team will win it. Back in the game, Juicy's clumsy team battles the Baron, in which defeating it will guarantee their victory. But Fatty has other plans. He rushes in like a deranged juggernaut and gives the first opponent a sweet taste of his shining blade. Then he rushes to slash Juicy, but she manages to teleport away. Amumu tries to stun him with his ultimate, but the idiot's plan doesn't work because Fatty is way too resilient. Juicy urges her other teammates to secure Baron because his health is already low. Mao rushes into the scene like a rabbit chasing a carrot. He recollects to high school how he found Tian burning her proposal papers and how he comforted her. Back to the game, Mao wants to interrupt Juicy's team action against the Baron. Juicy asks if he has a death wish and she attacks him. But Mao, like Batman chasing vengeance, doesn't give up. He tanks many hits from Juicy's team, and he then releases a wind cyclone, disrupting Juicy and her team, which at this point he's a pain in the ass to them. The enemies try to strike back at Mao, but Lu shields him. Juicy insults her brain-dead teammates, but Tian scolds her that it's not nice the way she treats her teammates. She continues by preaching the importance of teamwork to her. But Juicy snaps back and says only weaklings need team support. Juicy then launches a powerful attack on them, but the gang manages to escape. They split up with Tian wanting to 1v1 Juicy, while the others stop them from taking Baron. Juicy threatens her that she has not changed since the high school incident and that she'll always get the better of her. She adds that Tian making a couple of useless friends won't change anything. Mao manages to defeat the Baron, which shocks Juicy. This makes her lose her shit, and she launches different attacks on Mao, which he dodges due to the power of friendship. Mao says a bunch of boring history and lands the nastiest punch in history on Juicy's face. The crowd cheers at this development and thinks the gang can go on to win it. Mao revels in the situation and he's excited about the audience cheering them. This makes him very emotional and he asks Lu if they create a real team together. The girlfriend of a couple angrily storms out of the game center because she is tired. She angrily complains how they have been in there for 6 hours. The boyfriend tries to stop her, but she kicks him where the sun doesn't shine. Meanwhile, back inside the game center, Mao tells Lu they should form a real team, but Lu doesn't hear him due to the commotion inside. Suddenly, Tian jumps in and happily announces they are in the finals. Mao says that it feels like winning his girl back from some rich guy, which is ironic because Mao has been single like a broomstick throughout his life. Juicy boils in anger and her puppet teammates try to appease her. She walks over to Tian and the gang and congratulates them. She raises her hand like she's about to shake Tian, but it's fake, which ends up fooling Tian, who now looks like a donkey. Tian asks Juicy if she wants to leave because she's a loser or if she wants to stay and watch them play in the finals. Juicy calls them noobs and says she will leave. As she turns to leave, Juji lifts her leg, which ends up in her falling on her pathetic ass. How she falls embarrasses her so much, and the audience clowns her for it. Juicy is so angry even her reflection refuses to look back. She gets up and angrily grabs Tian. She asks Tian why she's always beating her at everything right from elementary school and why others have always seen her as a joke, including her classmates, teachers, and parents. Everyone kept comparing her to Tian and she never stood a chance. Subsequently, a man enters the game center and asks Juicy what she's doing there. Juicy recognizes the voice and she quickly puts on her makeup like a clown. He walks her out while commending Mao that their match was interesting. Shortly after, an announcer wearing a fish bucket on his ugly head announces the final between KYA and ZXCV, GU's team. The little kids that get you brought into the game are pestering him like rats they want to go home. GU asks them to stay for a little bit, but the little rascals say they will only stay if he buys them snacks being advertised by the greedy announcer. Lu questions if anybody will buy his snacks because they look bad, but Juji goes about a boring epiphany about how meat floss cakes have always been the catalyst to mankind's development. Lu succumbs like a bitch and says he will buy the snacks, but Mao tells him that Tian is already buying them. GU and his little rascals cube to get the snacks, with the boys urging him to move quicker because the snacks won't buy themselves. Tian buys the snacks for the boys and asks them to behave and listen to their father, GU. This move makes Lu's head boil, his head is on fire. Finally, the announcer kicks off the match between KYA and ZXCV. The guys perform their warm-up with GU warming up his quick hand movements on the keyboard. His hand movements are as fast as someone trying to delete their browser history.
Hacker Man. He's the most powerful hacker of all time.
Lu goes crazy and goes Super Saiyan. He angrily warns GU not to go to Tian because she's his in his dreams. The mentally ill announcer reports that even though the official match hasn't started, the trash talking is well underway. He points the mic to Lu and asks him to say something on live TV. He picks the mic, expresses gratitude to his English teacher, and admits that even though he's an unserious student and he's currently missing his English exams, he should give him another chance.
What the fuck?
Subsequently, they enter the jungle into the game. The gang hides behind a bush like cowards, analyzing the game field. Fatty complains about stomach ache and brings out his disgusting bare buttocks. Shortly after, a huge rocky opponent appears and the gang rushes to attack it. Lu tells the rest he can handle it from here and they can head back to their lane. Lu tries to deal a final blow, but the dumbass is fooled by GU, stealing his buff. He tries to get you back, but he disappears like my cousin owing me money. Lu tells GU he will take him on then and also steal his red buff since he has stolen his blue. Lu, with one atom of sense, strategies how he will work the map and other factors to his favor. Meanwhile, in another scene, one of the little rascal kids tries to attack Fatty, but Fatty shows him who the boss is and slaps his ass silly. After dealing with the little kid, Fatty runs to leave, but GAU makes a surprise attack and pierces him. Fatty screams for help from Lu, but the noob is having a hard time defeating the rock opponent. Fatty tries to get up and fight back, but the little pain in the ass rascal stabs him from the back, and then GAU finishes him, drawing first blood. Back in the real world, Fatty queries Lu about why he's so obsessed with his stolen buff. Lu tries to shift the blame back to him, and the two fools engage in a heated argument. Mao asks them to stop arguing that none of their actions was on purpose. Lu becomes angry he has also lost his red bluff and takes it out on Mao for not guarding the bot lane. Mao says that even though they are losers, they still have a chance of winning. Then back in the game, the gang fights a dragon for gold, poor dragon. Then, out of nowhere, GU appears and Lu chases him like a dog, much to the detriment of the remaining gang fighting the dragon. Lu rushes to attack and unsurprisingly has his ass handed over to him. Mao sees this and angrily questions him why he's so reckless, and why he'd give up the chance to slay the dragon just to chase GU. Again, the actual Lu tries to blame his teammates, but Nanan tells him they won't be cleaning his mess again. Tannen steps in to take control over Lu, but the guards drag her out because she's ineligible. Lu then makes a promise to take her out on a date if they win. Shin is kicked outside the game center, where rain is falling like cats and dogs. Tian feels embarrassed she got kicked out. She reminisces that she stands in the exact place where she met Lu for the first time. The fool had come to her asking her to share an umbrella since it was also raining back then. He acts over-familiar with her and takes pictures of them together, pretending they are a couple for social media. Cheatin feels angry, and fortunately for her, the idiot's phone got spoiled by the rain. Back in the game, the gang continues their battle against ZXCV. They try to push mid lane, but GAU and the little rascals try to spoil their party. Cheatin, still outside, sees the audience, including Michael and his ugly frog, coming outside the game center. She hears chatter about the audience commending KYA for their efforts and how they had a plan coming into the tournament. She calls Michael and the frog and asks them who won the tournament. The foolish frog smirks and teases her about the date Lu promised her earlier. Tang gets angry and knocks the snot out of him. She then turns over to Michael, who is already wetting his pants at this point. He then narrates to her what happened. Back in the game, the gang faces the little rascals who are defending their turrets. Mao instructs Fatty to go defend their base by distracting Jiyu, but Fatty points out the item difference between them, meaning Jiyu will whoop his ass. Lu jumps in like a maniac into their turrets, and the rest of the gang follows through. Nanan then uses her ultimate. Meanwhile, outside where Michael is narrating what happened to Tian, Tian claims Lu is still a stubborn goat and does whatever he wants. Michael tells her that Lu's turret dive was a risky decision, but the outcome was good. He then continues his narration about the game. Subsequently, in the battle, Jiyu breaks the base, effectively triggering a base race. The gang rushes in to ambush Jiyu in a 5v1, but the good-for-nothing annoying rascals appear suddenly after revival. Lu makes his revival just in time to defend their base from Jiyu. The rest of the gang now face the annoying kids. Fatty solos all of them, mopping the floor with their asses. Lu and Jiyu engage in their fight, and Lu reveals to him that he knew Jiyu would leave the kids and come back to her. Jiyu starts to lose it and finally uses his ultimate, but is fooled by Lu, who uses a dummy. Then Lu appears in the sky, striking down on Jiyu. Back to the narration, Chin happily asks if KYA won then. But Michael, like the clown he is, teases Chin about the date, which makes her hit the poor frog again. This scares Michael, which makes him regain his composure. He then points to the incoming Lu and asks Tian to ask him herself. Lu walks dejected in the rain like a kid who just found out Santa isn't real. Mao asks him to get back or else he will be soaked in the rain. Mao then discloses to Tian that they eventually lost. Tian calls him back, but he doesn't want to. With tears in his eyes, he blames himself for the loss and asks them to at least allow him to look cool when he's lost. Chin walks up to him with an umbrella and tells him friends are supposed to stick together when things are rough. The squad then takes a picture together.